Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Estancia Lapacho here in Paraguay, and we are racing back home with our truck and the enormous, great, big, long trailer here that we've been using for tipping out a bit of grain, and we also did a little bit of silage with it, and we've got a few other things that we want to do. So, the roller that we had a little go with over there, I don't think it's going to work out very well doing that field with the roller. It's going to end up leaving it all the wrong colour for a start. It's changing the colour of the ground to the standard brown rather than the red colour that we've got here on this map, which I really don't like. So we're not going to do that. We're going to change that back, and we'll end up having to plough that little bit so that we've got some land for the cows. This huge long trailer here, we're going to want that one in a bit, but we're not going to want it just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here and we're going to unhitch it. I want to put the seed drill going again because we're done with that bit up the top. Just come out of there. Now I also want something to go back onto that plow that we had, so I want to go through. We've got this one here, and this one is actually done, so let me just unload this one. Come out round here a minute. There we go. Right, we get this one unloaded a second, and then once we've unloaded this bad boy, we can go up to the top end of the field. Well, back up to the big field. A few people have suggested that in order to get those tiny little trees out of the ground, we need to use the chainsaw. If I use the chainsaw, it should work, in theory. Now, I don't know if it's actually going to work. I'm really hoping that it does, because that's going to make our lives considerably easier if we've just got to use a chainsaw and chop the thing down like that. It means that we don't have any major issues with trying to get the fields cultivated or ploughed or anything else when we come back to working on it again. So let me just bring this one back round through here. And which way round does it need to go? Oh, we were in there. So I need to just unfold the sugarcane harvester again. Bring it round like that. It's getting it lined up here because I can't see exactly where the tractor is. It's not actually very easy getting it lined up, but I'm hoping that's about the right spot there. Not quite, but it's good enough. It's close enough. That'll keep us running. Right, so then we can go through to, now we've moved this one over here, so this is the one that we did have. No, it's not. That's not the one we had the plow on. Yeah, I don't actually remember which tractor we had the plow on now. Not that it really matters. We'll bring this one over here. The cultivating has just about done. I'm going to worry about this. No, I was told, use the chainsaw. Get the chainsaw on here, and you should be able to get a little a piece on the top of this little tiny tree here. Or at least this is what other people have been able to do. They've actually been able to get it to work using the stock chainsaw, and that was enough to get it to work. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working for me. Maybe if I could do it at this angle. I've done this before on like the Sandy Bay map. You know, there was the odd tree that you just could not get hold of, and it was really, really tricky. Eventually, you were able to chainsaw a little bit, but this one just doesn't seem to want to do anything. You've got a tree stuck in the map, and it's absolutely not having it at all, is it? Okay, so the chainsaw idea doesn't seem to have worked. The stock stump grinder, I was also told by some other people, they said they were able to use a stock stump grinder to do it, so maybe we could try that one. If we get a stump grinder up here, I reckon we could probably do it on this tractor, actually, because we're done with the cultivating. So if we take this tractor back down, we will get a stock stump grinder, and we'll bring that one up here, and we'll try. Have we got one? I don't think we've actually got one. Let's just take a quick look a second in the garage and see. I don't think we have. I think I didn't worry about getting an actual stump grinder. And looking through here, I don't see one. You see any stump grinders? Because, no, I haven't seen a stump grinder. It doesn't look like we got a stump grinder in there. So we'll actually buy one of those. We do have enough money. Before we go any further, though, my weekly... Look, see, it goes right over that without any problems. But anyway, my weekly random events. Now, this week is one that we've not had before. It was a crop one, and that immediately made me nervous because I thought, uh-oh, we're going to end up losing some stuff here because we've got We got 130,000 litres of corn over here. Beans, we sold most of our beans. We've only got about 8,000 of those left. And then we've got 76,000 litres over here and 42,000 litres here. And the corn was the one that I was most worried about because there's not huge quantities of that. And we kind of wanted, I mean, there is a fair bit. 130,000 litres is a fair bit. So, no, I'm having a look through, and I then got a 2, and that says, high yield, add 50% to a grain in storage of your choice to represent a higher than normal yield. And I thought, well, okay, I can cope with that, so we need to add 50%. So I was sort of thinking, well, it's a shame we sold the beans, because, you know, we could have added in 50% extra on the beans, and we'd have made an absolute killing on that. That would have been a fortune. But we can't actually do that because, the beans now, it's not worth it. And these 3 here, possibly that one. But I'm actually thinking if we add 50% extra on here, so another 65,000 litres, that'll put us up to 195,000 litres of corn right there in storage. That's basically a free trailer load of grain. And all that's saying is... that might seem a little bit unrealistic if you at first glance that you're just chucking in a load of extra grain into storage. Well, no, it's not actually, because we've just recently done a harvest and we didn't stop to properly take a tally of everything that we got, and it turns out that the corn over there has yielded exceptionally well. The corn over in that field over there yielded exceptionally well. So we actually have 195,000 litres of corn, and not the 130,000 that we thought we had. Basically, we put it into storage, and you know when you put things into storage, and then after a while they sort of settle, and you don't have quite the volume there that you originally thought. That's what's happened over there. Is we originally thought that we had 200,000, so we put it elsewhere. It turns out that the grain settled a bit, so we were able to stuff a bit more into that shed. And so, yeah, we've got 195,000 litres in there. I'll make sure that's adjusted correctly. And we know that we've got 195,000, but the computer is telling us we've only got 130. So there's obviously a sensor glitch there somewhere. So I will make sure that that sensor is repaired, ready for tomorrow's episode. And then you will see that we do indeed have 195,000 litres of corn. So I hope that that has explained that adequately for everybody who's doubting that we're doing things authentically and accurately. It's a sensor glitch. That's all it was. It's just a sensor glitch. There's nothing to worry about. Now, if I leave that one up in the air, it's not going to want to allow me to unhitch it, is it? It's going to say... Oh, no, it's not. It's going to let me do it like that. So I want to unhitch it up in the air so it's not sunk down into the ground. That didn't want it right down into the ground. Right, let's go over and we'll grab this... Oh no, I don't want the plough yet. I want to go down to the shop and I want to get a stump grinder. So while we're off on our way down to the stump grinder, I asked you all last week, did you want me? I'm actually going to go round. There's just a line of fence that comes out and stops right here. We're going around the edge of this fence. We're going along here, like this. I asked you all last week, did you want me to build some new sheds up by the pigs so that we can go and put a load of grain and stuff up there ready for the pigs, and we can put some straw up there for them as well, things like that, and have it all up there ready for the pigs? Or did you want me to keep all of the storage down here on this part of the map and take it up there as and when we needed it? So I had 1,341 people answer that question, and of the 1,341, 142 of you want me to leave things as they are, and 1,199 of you want me to build a load of new sheds. So building new sheds is a fairly unanimous victory there. So we will be building some new sheds, and I've taken some of your suggestions on board. Some of you want me to get some of the placeable silos that don't link up with the main farm silos. They actually have separate ones, so we could take some grains up there and we could store them up there ready for the pigs, and we can also get a shed or two up there for some straw. I might just get another one of these barns that we're using for the bales, because I really love these sheds. One of these. If I got one of those there and stuck that up for the pigs, it's only straw that we need. That would be a perfect one to put up there. I absolutely love the idea of using one of those. And then we've got these. We've got this multi-storage various here. That takes so we could store the sugar beet up there as well. Pig food, seeds, fertilizer, capacity of 800,000 litres per type. Now, this is bulk material here, so we can stick the sugar beet or potatoes, whatever we're growing up there, and we can also put loose straw in there as well, if we wanted to. I don't really want to do loose straw, but I mean, I suppose we could. That could be something a little bit different. And then this multi-storage here, this one's for grains. We can also put pig food in there, if we were to go and get pig food, but I don't think we will. Forage seeds, fertilizer, and then we've got the wheat, the barley, the rape, the sunflower, the soybeans, and the sugarcane. All of that can all go in as well. So, I mean, those are pretty good, those two there. I quite like the idea of installing those. I'm not quite sure if we got enough room, because they do seem quite big. So we'll have to see. That's something that we'll come to a little bit later on. And was there any others? I don't think there's any others at the moment. That's one that some of you said you'd like to see me using for the cows here. And we'll think about that, because we did use that in the last place we were at. Anyway, we don't want those now. We want to go into forestry equipment, and we want a standard stump grinder. Now, whether or not this one's actually going to be any good, I don't know. It may not work. It may not do anything at all for us. But we're going to try everything we can to try and get these little trees out of the ground. If this will work, if we can use this to get those trees out of the ground, then brilliant. We'll then be able to plow up that field properly. If we can't, we're going to add something up. We're going to go up there and we're going to put something there, so that we don't just have those two little bushes, and we'll sort of have like a little bit of an island type something in the middle of the field. I don't quite know how I'm going to do it yet, but I will do something like that. And yes, I'm just going to go a shortcut right up through the scrub land over here, which I have been told by a few different people that live in countries where scrubland is more common, where you do have areas of just open land. It's actually quite acceptable to shortcut across them, and a lot of people do. A lot of people don't stick to the tracks all the time, and they will they'll cut across scrubland tracks in order to shortcut to different places on their farm. It's kind of like common land, but well, I'm not quite sure I said, because common land in the UK is done differently. Common land in the UK is common land, and there are specific rules for common land. Whereas at some other countries, common land is treated completely differently. You know, anybody can go and use it, anybody can go and do things with it, and there are certain rules about what you can and can't do with it. Some of them are hard and fast rules, and some of them are literally just a kind of agreed upon code that everybody sticks to. So you don't go and build a house on the common land because it's frowned upon. It's not a set rule against it. I mean, I think that the places in the world where you can just go and randomly throw down a house wherever you want are getting fewer and further between. These days you do actually have to at least own the land. Like in the States, you guys have got a rule where most of your country, if you own, I think it's a half an acre or more, you are legally entitled to build a house on that land, provided it's not within town limits. Provided it's not within the limits of any town, and there are specific boundaries for all of your towns. Provided your land is not within the boundaries of a town, you can build any house you want, and you don't even need to abide by building regulations. You can just throw down anything you want, which I think is actually really cool. I really do like that. But I won't start that one up. Yeah, I really, really do love the thought of that, and I would love to be able to do that in my country. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I would love to buy an acre or two of land and just be able to build on it however I want. But that's not an option that we have here in the UK. We have very, very strict building regulations here in the UK, covering absolutely every inch of the country from Land's End to John Groats, which is the two furthest points apart that you can get in the UK. It's about 780 miles apart, I think. That's it. That's the longest distance you can drive in the UK, is about 780 miles if you're going in a straight line, straight-ish. Doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. I'm thinking that this is not going to work here, so we're going to have to come up with another idea of something that we can do for these two trees here. Maybe we'll plant something else, do it another way. I really have no idea, but it doesn't seem to be working at all. There seems to be no option at all, really. That's not going to be a thing. We're not going to be able to do that at all. Never mind. Right. Let's leave that and let us continue onwards. I'm going to go and get the truck a minute, and I'm going to put the seed tender on the back of it, and we're going to whip up here and we're going to top up that little seed drill over there and get that one going again. Alright, while I get this one switched over and go up and top up the seed drill up there, and then I'm going to have to... Actually, no, I can just come straight back down and I can hitch those trailers straight onto the back of it, so I don't need to take the seed tender off to empty out the sugarcane trailers. So let me just do that. I want to press R to switch it over like that. Beautifully done. Right, my weekly question for this week. We've got a pile of money, and we're going to get another pile of money. We're going to get a much, much bigger pile of money than we've already got, because we've got a load of silage to sell, we've got sugarcane over there to sell, and we've got a whole load of other things that we're going to be selling as well. Grains and stuff like that. So we're going to be making an absolute fortune, and we're already at $377,000 right here on his map. So we've got some money to burn. We've got a hole in our pocket, and the money is burning its way through. Just take a look here at the map a second. Now, I'm wondering what we should spend the money on. Do we buy some more land? We've got land all the way down here that we could buy. We've got land here that we could buy. And there's, there's the little small fields over here, all the way under here. So there's loads more land that we could buy. We're going to reclaim a big chunk of land up there. And there's a few other bits and pieces that we're doing, as well as, like, we've reclaimed land here. We're going to reclaim more up around here. So we're doing a lot of work on getting extra land as it is. But do you want me to buy some more fields? Or do you want me to spend this money on bigger machinery? Now, we did originally start out with the plan of doing medium-sized machinery on this map, but we've been getting progressively bigger, and a lot of people seem to be quite pleased with the idea that we're getting progressively bigger, and I've been having more and more suggestions for even bigger machinery on this map. And we're still going to need to keep the medium-sized machinery that we've got, but we could also expand out to the bigger stuff to, sort of... The bigger stuff is for the bigger fields, and like this field here, we've got another huge field down over there, and we're expanding, we're joining fields together. So bigger machinery now is becoming more and more realistic. It's not out of the way, it's not unusual that we would have some seriously big kit here on this map. So my question for this week is, do you want me to buy more land, or do you want me to buy some more bigger machinery? It's going to have to be one or the other at the moment. We don't have enough money yet to do both. We will probably eventually do both. But which do you want me to do first? And, now this is quite important, if you vote for more land rather than more machine, actually both votes, whichever you choose to vote for, I'd like you to also comment what you want me to buy with it. If it's more land, tell me which fields you want me to buy next. Do you want, like, field 12 up at the top here? Do you want the ones down here? 20, 19, 17, all of those around there? Do you want these big triangle fields here, sort of between us and the pigs, and fill out that area of the farm, or the ones down the south? Give me the field numbers. Tell me the field numbers if you want me to buy land, and tell me what machinery you want me to buy if you want me to buy machinery. So make sure that you vote. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why. And this time, not only say which one you want and why, but say exactly what you want with it. If you're voting for land, which fields do you want me to buy? And if you're voting for machinery, tell me which machines you want. What machinery do you want me to go and spend the money on? And then we'll be able to do something about it. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. It should have, well, actually, it could come up at any time. It seems to be a bit random at times, but anyway, it should be there at some point. Let's carry on with this. 100. Oh, actually, I tell you what, we want to find out where we're going to sell this first. So we'll go to the sugarcane over there, and the best price that we get is still sugar mill, $240 a ton. 240 is not that great, but it's still better than nothing. It's considerably better than nothing. I am thinking about taking a load of this over to the train, actually, and just storing it over there. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we could do that instead. Right, I don't want to be driving through our own property down there, so I'm going to go over this way, and then I'm not going to go around this way. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down our main drive this time, and then we'll go over, and I don't know, 240. Not sure whether I should sell for 240 or just go and take this over to the train and store it there until we get a better price from the train. I don't want to store it anywhere else. I don't want to tip it out on the ground or anything like that. I think this load, we will go and sell it. We'll sell this load here, and then we'll come back, and the next load we'll store it over with the train. And then once we've done this, we may have to just go and top up the... Oh, actually, we'll need to empty out the sugarcane again on the actual machine over there, on the sugarcane trailer. We'll empty that one out again. And then when we've done that, we're then going to take the big bud over to the shop, and we're going to buy ourselves a new plow and a trailed lifter to go with it, because the roller is good for like putting down the concrete and gravel and stuff like that, but for actually laying down stuff in the fields is no good at all to us because of the fact that it doesn't leave it on it. The soil doesn't come out this color. The soil comes out a completely different color, and I don't want that. I don't want the soil coming out the wrong color. It just looks peculiar. So we're probably going to have a patch in our field that's the wrong color anyway, because we've already done a little bit with the roller, but we won't be doing any more rolling in the field with that one, with the not the ground response. I was going to say ground modification mod. That's what that one is. So yeah, we're not going to do any more changes with the ground modification in the fields because of the fact that it doesn't actually have this color, this type of soil programmed into it. I'm really hoping that the mod creator goes back and revisits that one and does add that in. That would be very, very cool if they would. But at the moment, it's not in there. So let's just tip this out. 240 a ton we get for this. How much are we going to get for one trailer full? 240 a ton is not very good, really, is it? It's not a huge quantity. There we go, 16,000 for that load. And then this back one back here, we're going to get... What are we going to get? There we go. Tip that one out there. So there's 16,000. 16. 14,000. Right, so we got 30 grand for those two trailerfuls. I feel we could have done better. 30 grand does not seem like a huge quantity of money to be getting for all of that sugarcane. I'm sure that we can do better in the future. So the next load we will take, and we'll take it out. We'll put it into the train storage over there. That'll be a little bit better, and we get a little bit more money for it. But we're up to $407,000, which is great because we're about to go and spend a little bit. Actually, we're not going to spend very much at all. That trailed lifter and a plow is dirt cheap. They really are. I was considering... a couple of people said I should get that big Gregoire Besson plow. No, I'm not getting that one. That was not happening. There is another plow that comes with the Big Bud DLC that I thought possibly we could go for, or we could just go for the Jimper subsoiler that we originally planned. So we'll take a look at both of them and compare them. One of them leaves it with a cultivated finish, and one of them leaves it with just subsoiling. So we'll have a look at them in a minute when we get to the shop. I was wondering why it left a piece there, but I'm pretty sure I know why. We didn't quite push the tractor far enough into the sugarcane when we did our last unload and restarted again, so it got a little way along and then decided to turn around there and then, which is why we now have a strip left up across the field. So we'll see if we can tidy that up in a minute. First of all, we're going to come around here and we're going to unload this. We need to get in nice and tight to the trailer, and then it'll work. There we go. Beautifully done. And get that in there and tip that one out. We might actually just leave the bit of sugarcane at the moment, and we'll come along and tidy up the little patches and stuff in the field at the end of it. It'll be an easier way to do it. And there's a lot of people have been making mods for sugarcane now. There's all kinds of harvesters that instead of having just these narrow little strips on here, even the self-propelled sugarcane harvester doesn't have a very big capacity on the front of it, not a very big width on it. And there's now people have been adapting sugar beet harvesters and stuff like that to hold a huge sugarcane capacity, and I do like them. I think they do look pretty cool, except that we won't be using any in this series because they are incredibly unrealistic. The whole thing with sugarcane is it's very, very time consuming to go and harvest. It takes a long time to harvest this stuff. I've been watching some videos of it and how it's done and stuff. And yeah, it's a very time-consuming, tedious task. And it's very slow as well. There's no quick, easy way to harvest sugarcane. It takes a long time, however you're going to do it. Now, we want to go from there over to our beautiful... Actually, how much corn have we got left? Got a feeling that we're going to need to go... Well, I wanted to go to the big bud, but I'm actually thinking, no, we need to go to this one first. And we're going to have to run up to the other end of the field. Other end of the field, other end of the farm, even. And we're going to need to put a little bit more corn into that seed drill. Don't have to do it just yet. It's still got 20% left on in the seed drill. But we are going to have to put a little bit more in there in a minute. So I'll bring that up there. I'll unfold this one as we drive along. Is it that one? Oh, I've actually not got it selected at the moment. There we go. Let's try that. There we go. And we'll... Why? Have you stopped? What are you doing? Have you actually... Oh, I see. He's come up this side of it. And he's busy working just that little short piece right there. And then when he's finished working that short piece right there, he's then going to move over to the other side. Well, he'll start doing the long work. I'm actually going to change it over, and I'll manually poke that around a little bit in just a second. Alright, we've got that one loaded up again with seed, and I've done just that little bit around there. I'm not going to worry about leaving that as an island this time round, because we may yet be able to find a way to remove those trees. So I'll just set that one going up across there, and then we can go and get our... Oh, hang on, what's this one doing? Oh no, that's just changing over. Right, that's fine. Yeah, we want to go and get our big bud, and we're going to take this one down to the shop. Now, the big bud is fairly slow going, so he's going to take a while to get there. I also, before I do that, I just want to move this one away, because that task there, yeah, we're not going to do any more of that. I'm going to move this one. I'm going to take it. I may even sell this roller, because... No, I won't. I won't sell the roller. I will just move it out the way, though. If I bring this one over here... I'm going to just park it in here just a minute, and we'll leave it there. I'm not going to set it down, because setting it down does tend to cause a bit of a problem. Ground type grass field, asphalt, sand, concrete, pine needles, grass, gravel, leaves, rock, mud, paving slabs, dirt, meadow, lawn, bright dirt. Oh, that's muddy ground. Original ground. And even original ground doesn't do it. It's not what we're after, because that's original ground, not new original ground. So there's a big difference between the two. Right. We will go to our big bud, and we are going to drive this one. This is fairly slow going, though. I'm going the wrong way now. Yeah, we're driving this one all the way down to the shop. This could take a while. It does certainly take a while to drive it all the way round. There is no denying that. Let me just go over here, and we'll pull up in front of the shop. So, we want to go and get... We're thinking about the Jimper plow, and I've been thinking about this, and there's two different sort of arguments to it. First of all, we want to get the... I think the thingy that we're after is under miscellaneous. No, it's not. Okay, so that must be under plows then. The trailed lifter. That's the one. There we go. Trailed lifter. Right. Trailer for with a 3-point hitch for tractors without one. So we definitely want that one there. We'll buy that. That's 15,000. So that gives our big bud a lot more versatility. Now, the other things that we've got here available, we've got the Gregoire Besson right there. This is a 10.5 meter plow, which is great, but it's also really, really long. And if you're working it on uneven ground or short work, it's utterly useless. So for what we want here, that traditional style plow would be utterly useless. It's no good to us at all. We can't use it. This one right here is 5.7 meters wide. Now this is a ripper. This is just a subsoiler, a ripper. You'd use this for breaking up new ground, for ripping through tree roots. I mean, technically you'd use something like that for going through the tree roots, because there's fewer spikes on it and it's going to be a lot less effort. But I mean, our big bud is a powerful beast, so we could use that one right there. There is another option. If you go into the cultivators in here, there is that one right there, the Cultiplow Platinum 8 meters. And I think this one, subsoiler, prepares fields for the next sowing. It can be used instead of a plow. I think this one here does actually have the option to create new fields. I know some of them don't. I know that... is there any others here? Well, I don't think. It's this one over here. These Stara ones over here, they don't have the option to create new fields, but I think this one here does. However, it's quite wide. I mean, it's 8 meters wide, and it's a different type of plow. So if you were going over ground that was filled with tree roots and stuff, that wouldn't really be a suitable type. So on that argument, I know it's going to be a bit slower, but that argument, I would say that the jumper plow is probably the most realistic one, the best one for the task. So we're going to take that one right there. We could always go back and we could lease the other one. Tell you what, maybe we should try that. Maybe we should just try leasing that cultivator and doing a bit with that one, just around by the cows. See, I'm not sure. I'm 90% certain that you could create new fields with that, but I don't really know. Which is it to lease it? 6.5 grand. Right, we're going to try it. We're going to lease that one. Because we could use that around the field by the cows has only got small shrubs in it. It's just scrubland. It's not actually a massive... It's not got full-grown trees growing all over it, and that is a significant difference. It means that we're not going to have big roots over it, so we could justify using this plow here rather than the jumper plow, if this one does actually work as a plow. That's the main question now. I need to find out if it works as a plow, so let's just go into here and unfold cultivator, lower cultivate. Maybe I got this wrong. Maybe this one doesn't actually allow creation of the fields. And if it doesn't, it means I've just spent 6.5 grand for nothing. Right, it's unfolding. It's all unfolded. We've got lower cultivator. No, it does not have an option for creating fields, which means that I just wasted $6,500. Alright, never mind, live and learn. I genuinely did think that you could do it with this one, but apparently you can't. So let's just unhitch that there. And we'll move over here, and then we will return that one. There we go. Return. Vehicle has been returned. So we had that one on hire, and it turned out to be less than satisfactory, but the dealership here is being a little bit awkward with us. Despite the amount of money that we've thrown at them, they're still being a little bit awkward over that, and so they're refusing to give us a refund of the $6,500, which I think, personally, is very rude. I'm not happy with that, but what can you do? Sometimes you've just got to sort of take the bad with the good, sometimes. So let's bring this one over here. And this little trail lifter here is going to be beautiful on this one. This is going to work a treat, this is. We'll just back that one up there. It would help if I could line it up properly. That's not quite lined up as well as I'd hoped. In fact, it's lined up so badly that it's not even... The game itself is saying, yeah, try again, buddy. Try again, because that ain't good enough. There, let's try that. It's a bit angled, but it's better. I think it'll work now. There we go. Okay, now we have to lift it up, because it's just sunk into the ground. And yeah, see the dealership here and the way he was awkward? Yeah. I get my own back by ploughing up his car park out here. There you go. Never mess with me. Never mess with Frith. It's only going to end badly for you. Right. Let's stop threatening the dealer and being horrible to him. And let's go back. And, oh, sugarcane is full again. I want to get this one back over there, and then we will empty out that sugarcane, and we can start ploughing up the cow's field there. Also just going to get the seed drill here and top it up while I'm up this end. So just bring that under there and put another load of seed into this drill. There we go. Right, that's topped up. That should, I'm hoping, be enough to finish off this field. Well, might be enough to finish off this field. We'll have to wait and see. And I'll bring this one over here. I'm going to start on this side. It's usually easier if you start on... If you don't finish on one side. So if I bring it about there, I'm hoping that will go all the way up to the other end of the field before it has to turn round. Can do it? It should do, yes. Looking up through there, yeah, that should be fine. The trees shouldn't cause it to turn round either. So I'm hoping that will work just perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. So let's bring you out, and we fold you up as we go. And we get this one unloaded into these two trailers here, and then that one can carry on again. And then the big bud over there, we can start ploughing the field, which means we'll then be able to sow it with grass, and that field there will then be a field that we can use for the cows. I haven't forgotten about our little pony as well. We need to make a small, tiny field for the pony so that we got somewhere to keep it, and we also want to be getting it some hay and some water, because at the moment he's only got hay. And is saying that he doesn't actually have any water now, which is not really a good thing. You don't really want your ponies to be waterless, because they do require some of that, you know, in order to do things like live, which it is generally beneficial. If your pony is alive and well when you come to ride it, it generally goes a little bit faster. Just bring that out and unfold that one again. I'm in here, and I didn't get it lined. If I can get it lined up beautifully there we go. I think that's about perfect. And we're away. Go on, you can do this. Excellent. Right, that one's going. Let's just go and check our tractor up the top. Need to go through a couple of them. There's the big bud. There's the horse. Gone through just about everything I had. Okay, that's fine. Big bud. That's the one that I want. So we're going to come in here, and we've got that fence that moves across that piece of land there, which sort of just marks out the very end of this piece of property here. So we'll come in here, and we'll come round there like that, and I'm going to start allowing create fields right here, I think. And yes, allow create fields. Can do that, and then lower it down. And we're already ploughing. There we go. Now this, it'll rip through this without any problems at all. So it's a little unfortunate that we couldn't use that culti plough. It would have been a little bit quicker, but I mean, this is not a huge area that we got to do. It's not even a huge area up on top of the plateau either that we're going to do. Both of them are quite small areas. It's just a bit on top of the plateau is very, very uneven ground, which is going to make a difference. And also it's currently covered in trees, which is going to make another difference. Both of which are not insurmountable problems, both of which are things that we can overcome. I'm not going right tight to the fence. I'm going near the fence, but I'm not going right up tight to it. So we're not going to remove... Well, we probably will remove most of these bushes. We're leaving the odd shrub near the fence. And I'm doing that because I think it's slightly more realistic. I know that... you know, some farms you work on, you do get, you know, they push right up tight to the fence in all places. But most places I've worked, they've let you leave it a metre or two out from the fence, just to give you some just little strips on the sides. And some farmers do it just for looks, because it's got somewhere for a few wild plants to grow. Other farmers do it for other reasons. One farm I worked on, they would leave a 4-metre strip from every single hedge and fence, so that there was cover for the pheasants. And then they would do a pheasant shoot. So they would raise a load of pheasant chicks from babies, lovely little pheasant chicks, all fluffy and wonderful and awesome, and then they would release them, and they would throw bits of food around for them, and then in the autumn they would come along, and a load of people would pay a huge amount of money to come along and butcher the whole lot. And just go through guns blazing and blast a lot of them. I've never really been a fan of pheasant shoots in any way. It's not something that has ever personally appealed to me. I did get involved with the pheasant shoot on that farm. I made it quite clear to start with that I didn't like the idea of pheasant shoots, growing these birds just to go along with a gun and slaughter the whole lot of them. And I did... So I was helping with the beating. You have a team of people that go through the underbrush, because pheasants are normally very timid. They would hide in the underbrush. So you go along with big sticks and you just keep beating all of the trees and the shrubs and everything to scare the birds out. Then they come flying up, and then the people with the guns, they shoot them. And it's an organised hunt, and they did it on a much smaller scale than a lot of places do in this country. But pheasant shooting is big money, and so I was talking to some of the people that were there doing the shooting, and we did have quite an interesting discussion about it. I made no secret of the fact that I didn't like the idea of it. I said that I was only going because that they get people in for a season who come along regularly and do the beating, and I said I was only going to do it once. I don't like the idea of it, but I haven't actually seen it personally, so I went along once. I participated to find out what it was like to sort of see both sides of it. And I can understand why you need a team of people to hunt pheasants. You can't just go along with a gun, especially when you don't have very many pheasants. If you've got loads of them, then it's pretty easy. You just go along and you can shoot them while they're on the ground just as easy as you can up in the air. Just they do it while they're in the air to give them a so-called sporting chance, which... when you've got 20 people shooting at you with a gun, it's not really a sporting chance. So, yes, it was an interesting experience, and we did get several pheasants on the day. I think we had about 20 of them altogether. There were 5 people shooting and 10 of us doing the beating. So it was a small-scale thing, and I had fun. I enjoyed the day, but it's not something that I've ever repeated. It's not something I've ever gone back and done, and I'm not a fan of the whole idea of growing pheasants just in order to run through guns blazing and butcher the whole lot. You know, if raising animals for meat, fine, raise them for meat, and you kill them as quickly and efficiently as you possibly can to minimize any suffering. The whole thing with the shooting of the pheasants, it's not possible to make sure that every single kill is clean and simple, and that's the bit that I don't like. You know, the argument that, oh yeah, well, you still eat the pheasants. Yeah, I know we ate the pheasants because I had 4 of the pheasants that we shot on the day. All of the pheasants that are shot would have been eaten. Some of the big estates where they breed up thousands and thousands of pheasants, not so much. They don't all get eaten. A lot of those do get thrown away, and it's completely and totally wasted. These pheasants, what is the point? You cannot possibly argue that they're for food because they're getting chucked away. They're not being used for food. All it is being done for sport and for fun, and that is something that I don't particularly like. I've done a lot of hunting with various family members. I've gone hunting rabbits, we've gone shooting, we've gone using ferrets to do it. And the thing that we've always done is every single animal that we have caught and killed, however we've killed it, whether it's been shot, whether it's been caught in nets and then killed afterwards, every single animal has been eaten. It's been hunting for food, not hunting. Yes, it's an enjoyable experience, and yes, you can still call it a sport, but it's not, the primary purpose of it is not just sheer entertainment. It's done in order to get food, and you don't have to go and do that in this day and age in order to get food, but it's a form of pest control. I've done it a lot, killing rabbits as a form of pest control, because it needs to be done, and there are certain places where you do need to stay on top of the rabbits because there's not much of a fox population to keep the rabbit population down. So you know, keeping on top of the rabbits is important if you want to be able to grow any crops at all. And the only difference that I've sort of, well, the difference between like the big estate shoots where they're just slaughtering thousands of pheasants to killing a few ducks and a few rabbits and stuff like that is that we ate every single one of them. There was not a single one of those animals that was thrown away because, oh yeah, well, it was fun killing it, but that's where it stops now because we've done our bit. No, the whole point of it was in order to get food. That's what we did. So I'm not a fan of the big pheasant shoots. I don't even remember how I got started on this. I really don't. How did I get started on this? I have no idea. Anyway, I've run out of time for today's episode. Anyway, I'm sorry if I've ventured into territory that's a little bit upsetting for some people. It's something that I've decided. I have looked at both sides of the argument. I've experienced it on all sides there, and it's something that I do feel about. It's not the biggest problem in the world. I'm quite happy to admit that, but I don't like pheasant shoots at all. I don't like the idea of it. It's just a lot of people coming along paying an obscene amount of money in order to go and shoot a whole load of animals for no reason other than it's fun to shoot all the animals. And that's the bit that I don't like. That's the killing for fun thing is the bit that I don't like. And I have heard people say that humans are the only creatures that do that. That I know is complete and utter nonsense. I know that for a fact. If you've ever seen a fox get into a hen house, you'll know that foxes and plenty of other animals kill purely for the pleasure of killing. They love the kill. That's half of what they're about. But, you know, they're animals, and we're not. And, yes, killing, you know, the hunt is an enjoyable experience, but hunting and then throwing the animal away afterwards, that is not something that I agree with at all. If you're going to go hunting, but at least only hunt enough that you are going to eat the food afterwards. You're going to eat the animals afterwards. Because if you're not going to do that, then what are you doing? It's just a savage and pointless experience, really. Okay, I really need to stop, or I'm going to start really upsetting people now. So I'm going to stop that. We're going to move our little pony here. Take this one out of the way. We don't have much food left on poor pony, so we're going to need to find some more food for it fairly soon. I think we're going to stash the horse down over here a minute, and then we can worry about it another time. So my question for this week, we've got a big pile of money, and what I want to know is, do you want me to spend this money on some more land, or do you want me to spend this money on some more machinery? So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. And this week, it is very important that when you cast your vote, that you put a comment in the comments section telling me what you want me to buy. If it's machinery, what machine do you want to see me using? Do you want to see me going really big with the machinery and getting some really obscenely huge stuff here? Or do you want me to buy some fields? If you want me to buy fields, which ones do you want me to spend the money on? It's quite important that you let me know, and then I'll be able to assess from the comments through the week, ready for next week, which way we're going to go. I will be looking at the likes on the various comments, how popular people's comments are, and how many different comments of the similar ones that I get, and I will weigh this all up. It's all going to factor into the decisions that we make next week with machinery or land and what we do when we make either of those purchases. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.